Learning Japanese is insanely difficult, and the people that say they're good usually aren't. At least, not as much as they're letting on. Clever editing, practicing beforehand, and scripting all play a part in the Japanese you hear online. And because of this massive smokescreen put up by our culture, everyone thinks they know what it means to be fluent. But when you hit the ground, learn for yourself, and talk to other real learners, you realize the impression you got from the internet was completely wrong. So to shed an honest light on the chasm between the highest levels of Japanese and the plains of ignorance many stay in for years, I've decided to make this video. Level 1, Muchi. At this level, you don't know what you don't know. Language learning is an absolute mystery to you, and you think you can conquer it one konnichiwa at a time. If you've ever heard the song Mr. Roboto, then congratulations, you're at least at this level. You probably haven't fully committed to learning Japanese yet, but you have a middling interest and cling on to the few words and phrases you've heard. If you go to Japan at this level, you can feel proud knowing you're the polite foreigner. Just charge up and use your special move at the right time and you get the sweet reward of a smile, a surprised look, and the classic response, "Ah, Nihongo jouzu." Level 2, Aka-chan.
こんばんは。忙しいですか？ありがとうございます。
So you've decided to learn Japanese. Welcome back to feeling like a child. I mean a baby. Because at least children know how to form full sentences. For now, you talk in small utterances. This, that, please, thank you, papa, mama. You probably know the most basic sentence formation, X wa y des. But outside of that, grammar mystifies you to no end. Particles seem to somehow all mean the same thing, yet are used completely differently. By this point, you've also accepted the fact that you need to learn new alphabets. Although you probably haven't had your hopes and dreams crushed by a mountain of kanji yet. Most people fizzle out at this stage, stay stuck here for life, or worse, commit to being that guy that lives in Japan but can't speak Japanese. Ugh. If you visit Japan during this stage, you'll feel like just that, a baby. Level 3, Kibo.
どう使う日本語文系表現文系辞典表現はい
Welcome to the hope phase. You survived the return to baby and have entered your rocky cutscene. You've been studying for some months or years, and growth is coming quicker. You've conquered some of the basic grammar patterns and are pretty confident forming short sentences. You might even feel pretty good about your Japanese. You've also started to take on some kanji, and although there are a lot of them, each one you learn feels like it improves your reading exponentially. By this point, you've seen enough videos on learning Japanese to really feel like you can do this thing. You've found your method, and now all you need to do is coast to fluency. If you're in Japan, you can mostly get your point across with a little thinking beforehand. Level 4, Zetsubo.
起立 Everyone stand up 気をつけ yes
So you've realized the full weight of what it means to learn Japanese. Oh, how foolish you were. After knocking out some easier material, in your hubris, you decide to commit to more material meant for natives. Maybe you've learned 1,000 kanji and decided it's time to jump into an advanced visual novel. Or maybe you've been listening a lot and want to watch your favorite anime without subs. Either way, you start to realize just how massive the ocean of Japanese is. You also start to realize that those rare kanji that you don't need to learn actually aren't that rare. This is where you start to have moments where you feel like you get it, but are immediately smacked down by a bunch of stuff that flies right over your head. If you visit Japan, you can get your point across in mid-conversation, but still feel frustrated with not being able to express yourself, and probably feel silly with how much you've practiced. Level 5, Juyo.
じゃあケンさん、昨日のイベント素晴らしかったです。どんな感じでしたか？ It's very good.
もうね、いろいろハプニングがあったり、ミスがあったりもしたんだけど、まあそれがライブだからね。
You know you're cooked, and that's okay. You see people above you in skill level and know it's possible to get better, but feel like every time you practice, you still don't see any difference in gains. You might start thinking things like, if only I lived in Japan, or if only I had a Japanese partner, if only I had time to study. Still, you've come to terms with your strengths and weaknesses and accepted the place Japanese takes in your life. You more or less have competence in the domains that matter to you. This is where most serious learners stop. It's also what you might consider internet fluent. Good enough to do what your life or hobbies require, but not where you know you could be. If you visit or live in Japan, you might even get a Nihongo pera pera. But deep in your heart, you know you're still jouzu. Level 6, Ryucho.
もしもし、一つだけ聞きたいことがあってさ、葵の知り合いの中には日本語ができる外国人は何人ぐらいいる？
ハリソンも入れたら3人ぐらいかな。
3人ぐらい、そうか。
日 本語ができる外国人
そう日本語ができる。
ほんと2、3人ぐらいじゃない？
そっか、じゃあ俺ブランダン英語の先生。
So you've decided to push past your perceived limits and make it work, huh? Well, congratulations, you did it. This is where you've hit legitimate mastery over all the domains that matter to you. You can freely express yourself in topics that interest you, and can follow along in ones that don't. This stage is fluency in the truest meaning of the word. Major warning for this stage though. Get complacent at all and you'll fall right back to level 5. That's because the main difference between level 6 and level 5 is the amount that you've integrated Japanese into your life. Japanese is just that kind of language. At this point, you almost certainly live in Japan and are asked, いつ日本に来たんですか? When natives hear Japanese. Level 7. Satori.
違ってるわけじゃないし、伸ばすと鍛えるはニュアンスが違うし、意識して語彙力を鍛えるっていう言い方を選んだんだよ、俺。
選んだじゃなくて、選んだが正しい。部で終わる動詞は全て平板だっていうこと知らないの？
This level is reserved for ultimate language gurus, super kanji nerds, and people that fully live their lives in Japanese. These are the true bilinguals that have just as much trouble with Japanese as they do with their native language. And for giving up half your brain to this pursuit, we salute you. At this point, you've lived in Japan for a decade or more, and when natives hear Japanese, they give you the highest compliment of all. Jouzu. Hey, thanks for making it this far, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Lastly, small disclaimer, but language learning is not a race and it's not a competition. Everyone has a different combination of macro and micro skills, and there's no way to calculate them all. Major respect to anyone that's taken on the challenge of learning Japanese. Anyways, I've been Josen. Thanks for watching.